Why did World War II start? We will look at the causes of World War II using the international relations theories of realism and liberalism. These theories provide different perspectives or different viewpoints on what caused the war to start. Realism, as an international relations theory, emphasizes power struggles, national interest, and the competitive nature of international relations. This is because realists think that the world is best described as international anarchy. Therefore, realists argue that states are driven by their pursuit of power and security. From a realist perspective, several factors led to World War II. Firstly, the Treaty of Versailles, which ended World War I, was important in creating the geopolitical situation that made another world war possible. The treaty punished Germany based on the idea that Germany was responsible for starting the war. These punishments included very large reparations, which is compensation, or a kind of fine. Another important punishment was territorial losses, which means that land was taken away from Germany. Finally, the third punishment was military restrictions, which means that Germany was not allowed to have any meaningful military power. Realists argue that these punishments weakened Germany and created a sense of injustice and resentment among its population. Importantly, Adolf Hitler and the Nazi Party used this resentment and told German citizens that their party would make Germany strong again. This led to Germany's aggressive expansionist policies in which they took land from other countries, and this was one of the causes of World War II. Secondly, realists say that the major world powers, such as France, Britain, the Soviet Union, and the USA, failed to effectively respond to Hitler's actions. They argue that these countries prioritized their own national interest and did not try to prevent Germany's expansionism until it was too late to prevent a war. Hitler saw this as a weakness, and this meant that Hitler continued with German expansion, and this led to World War II. Realists use this as an example to show that states need to have military power so as to encourage other states not to be aggressive. Furthermore, realists think the international system is anarchy. This means that, in the realists' view, the world has no boss. Therefore, for their own survival and security, countries must look after themselves. This is the idea of self-help. This incentive for states to gain more power and the competition for power between states is called power politics. Realists say that because of international anarchy, international relations is always characterized as competition between states and potential conflict between states. In the case of World War II, Germany's rise to power and its expansionist policies created a very unstable international environment that led to the outbreak of war. So that's one perspective, realism. However, there is another theory through which we can understand international relations, and this is liberalism. Liberalism has an alternative perspective that focuses on cooperation, institutions, and shared values. Liberalists argue that international cooperation, such as trade, will increase the chance of peace. Furthermore, international institutions are necessary for maintaining peace and preventing conflict. Finally, liberalists think that all humans have the same values, such as democracy and human rights, and so these values are important. From a liberal perspective, one of the main causes of World War II was the failure of the League of Nations to keep the peace. The League of Nations was an international organization made after World War I. Its goal was to promote collective security between countries and to resolve disputes peacefully. Liberalists say that the League of Nations was unable to prevent aggression. They say that the League of Nations was too weak and states could not trust it to keep the peace. In addition, liberalists highlight the economic factors that influenced the outbreak of World War II. For example, they say that the Great Depression was a factor. This was a severe global economic crisis which created big economic problems. Many states responded to this by creating protectionist policies and trade barriers. This reduced the economic interdependence, the win-win game of trade. Because liberalists think that economic interdependence decreases the chance of war, liberalists also think that if economic interdependence goes down, the chances of war will increase. The economic suffering and competition for resources, energy and food, for example, increased nationalist feeling. This kind of economic situation caused some states to expand their territory to get more land and resources, which led to war. In summary, the causes of World War II can be understood through the different lenses of realism and liberalism. Of course, it's always necessary to use more than one theory.